You're listening to Short Inspirations from Ralph. To be loved means to be chosen. Part 1. One of my favourite Bible characters was Peter. And I say this because Peter was a rough, uneducated fisherman without proper learning and was a down-to-earth tradesman type person. But the change that came over that man was like night and day. Listen to what he's written in his letter. It's in 1 Peter 2 verse 9 and 10, and he's talking about those who have rejected Jesus as the Messiah. But then he turns his attention onto Christ's followers and he says, "But you are not like that, for you have been chosen by God himself. You are priests of the King. You are holy and pure. You are God's very own. All this so that you might show to others how God called you out of darkness into his wonderful light. Once you were less than nothing." Wow. Now you are God's own. Once you knew very little of God's kindness, now your very lives have been changed by it. In a way, he was talking about himself, because he, of all people, knew what it was like to be accepted by God. Peter, the no good for anything nobody, became one of the closest buddies of Jesus Christ. You know, when I get to heaven, I'm going to really enjoy interviewing a lot of people, a lot of Bible characters, but amongst the ones that I really want to talk to would be Peter. I would say, Peter, what was the number one significant thing that changed your life? And I'd ask that question because there were lots of things in Peter's life. If you did a character study of him, there'd be things he could say. He could point you to perhaps the time when Jesus said, "Do you love me? Feed my lambs, feed my sheep." He could point to other times that were life-changing, like when the Holy Spirit came down in Acts 2, and how that became a turning point in his life. But perhaps Peter would say the one thing, top of the list, the significant thing that was life-altering, was when he was fishing, tending his nets, and this man had never seen before, Jesus, came by and looked him in the eye. And that look in his eye to Peter spoke a million words. And then he said, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." I think they were words of life, but more than that, they were words of choosing. I choose you, Jesus was saying to Peter. This is why I've called this series "To Be Loved is to be Chosen." Peter knew that someone believed in him, someone loved him, someone saw that he had a future that was more than what he was doing. This is the amazing thing about connecting with Jesus Christ, giving your heart to him, is that it's not just a ticket to heaven when you die. It's being chosen for a life of wonder. It's being selected, being looked in the eye and saying, "I believe in you. You are mine." And that's interesting because often we say we believe in God, but do you realize he believes in you? He chooses you. We have no idea about this God of love, who is love, or what is love, because we get it all mixed up with our humanness and what the media and magazines and Hollywood and Netflix say about what love is. We don't really know the depth of love. The closest we can get to it is this Bible word called agape love. It's a Greek word that means I'm going to give you love without conditions, no deals, like man does. I'm just going to pour this out to you. God brings this sort of love into our lives, but more than that, He also chooses us. And actually you and I were chosen before we were born, a long, long time ago. And what Jesus said to Peter, He's saying to you and I as well. He's looking us in the eye in a way and saying, follow me for the rest of your lives. God bless you.